Welcome to Scorched Earth. This is going to be a general mid-month reading for the sign of Taurus, Sun, Moon and Ascendant. It's going to be shorter than the main monthly reading because it's just covering 2 weeks from the 15th to the 31st of May. So, to that end, I will pull 3 cards for your current energy, 3 cards for what's coming towards you, and 3 cards for advice, should you need it. And I'll try not to pull any clarifiers. But you know, I'm totally open to breaking my own rules if necessary. So, using the Tarot Illuminati today for you, which is odd because I haven't used it for months, and then it told me it wanted to be used for Sagittarius's reading, and it was quite insistent that it was used for yours as well. So, shit, I think that's probably enough shuffling. So. Let's get 3 cards for Taurus, please. Where is Taurus energy right now? The last 2 weeks. Wow. The first card that we've got is the Ace of Cups. I love that. The second card that we've got is the 3 of Pentacles. Love it. One more card for Taurus. And the 9 of Cups. Wow. At the bottom of the deck, we've got the 8 of Pentacles. That talks about really putting in the work to something, make something happen, you know. Achieving mastery sometimes with it. Now, I really love this for you, Taurus. This is beautiful. With the Ace of Cups, 3 of Pentacles, and the 9 of Cups, right? And this is an exquisite combination. Because the Ace of Cups talks about new love. But I don't feel like this is necessarily of a person at all. I feel like this is a new sense of self-love, right? This is self-appreciation. This is understanding that you are a fucking gift to the planet, right? Not in any kind of arrogant way, but that you are special and that you are unique. And not everybody has to love you, but you have to love you. And you do it willingly. Like, it's a cracking open, right? It's receptive energy. It's allowing all the good things to come towards you. And it's a level of growth, right? We've got all of these lotus blossoms at the bottom of the card there. Like, your soul has kind of opened up to new ways of doing things, new ways of being. And the growth that's come along with that, whether you realise it or not, is altering your future. I feel that very strongly, right? Just as we're sat here, your future is literally altering. It's not indulgent to feel self-love, and you are starting to understand that. And we've got the 3 of Pentacles. Now, this is a card of cooperation and collaboration, and I feel like this works on multiple levels because not only are you cooperating with yourself, with your higher self and all these things, but you're open to collaborating with yourself in a way that you haven't done before, because before you sabotaged yourself on such a fundamental level over and over again that you repeated patterns over and over again, right? There was no sense of you having broken them at any point. Now you are, right? Now you're starting to do that. Now you are consciously co-creating with the universe, with your higher self, whatever, to create a new future for yourself. But it's also making you more open to working together with others in a more compassionate sense. You know, like sometimes there was a level of anxiety involved with new people, right? And quite often that anxiety was of your creation almost. It's like because you spent so much time second guessing other people's motives and what they thought of you, whether they liked you, you know, whether they thought you were a fuck up, things like that. Yeah, that's kind of drifting by the wayside now. And there's cooperation and collaboration on all fronts, internally and externally. And it's beautiful because then we've got the 9 of Cups, and this is about you getting really, really clear about what you want. You know, we've talked before about not having this long checklist of things that you don't want, because in doing that you are focusing on those things that you don't want. And this is the things that you do want. And when you put the Ace and the 9 together, you've got the 10 of Cups. All right. And with that 3 of Pentacles sat in the middle, this is kind of opening you up to the possibility of bringing new people in who are going to bring emotional fulfillment to you. Well, no, I mean, you're in charge of your own emotional fulfillment, but they are certainly going to bring add value to your existence. It's a really strong stance. It's really powerful. You know, it's open, but it's constructive at the same time. You know, you've got this strong earth energy in the middle of it, but this emotional contentment either side. And it's all of your creation. It's all what you've brought in. I love it for you, Taurus. I really do. You've made such bounds in the last few months. Yeah. I love it. Let's see what's coming towards you for the last 2 weeks of May. Whoa, stuff and things. Whoa. Right, whoa, Princess of Wands. Nice. What's coming? Seven of Wands. We've got the Tower at the bottom of the deck. I don't want you to be too frightened. And we've got the Six of Cups underneath that as well. But we've got 2 sevens that have come out for what's coming towards you. We've got the Princess of Wands, which is the Page in the standard deck, right? And that talks about being excited for the future. You know, it's that childlike excitement. It's kind of not naivety or childishness, but kind of like a stripping away of all the crap that you've experienced. You know, all those things that made you feel quite jaded about the future, right? Or even if you were slightly excited about the future, it was always seen through the lens of you know, of the anxiety that you felt, or the self-sabotage that you were capable of, you know. It feels like everything's so different now that you're seeing the world through an entirely different lens. But then we come to the Seven of Pentacles and the Seven of Wands, right? 2 sevens. Now these, once you get multiples of 7, it feels like, I don't want to say test. I don't like test. Because when you start talking about tests, you start bringing in the notion of passing or failing, and I don't think that that's what this is, right? For me, the 7 is a number of spiritual growth, right? So it's taking on board all of the things that you've learned, all of the lessons and stuff. But it's often being presented with a situation that will give you an opportunity to exercise that growth, exercise that new perspective on things, right? So kind of a test, kind of not. The fact that the Tower's here makes me think that it's something that's going to broadside you initially. But whenever the Tower comes in, no matter how uncomfortable it is, and sometimes my most profound Tower moments have been just a thought that I've had, and it's just changed the way that I've seen everything. But it can be, you know, more dramatic than that. I think it's going to broadside you initially, but I don't think that it's a big deal, because the Seven of Pentacles is like the status quo, right? And if there's anything still left in your environment that it's time to get rid of, the Tower's going to shake it up, right? And it's going to cause you to pause and reflect, just as this dude is doing here with his garden implement, right? And like trying to decide whether you want to put some more effort into that, or whether it's time to reclaim that effort and put it in a different direction, right? It's a pause and reflect. And then the Seven of Wands, which I feel like, yeah, it's this dude looks really dramatic, right? This is about you getting your fire up, right? Knowing what you want to fight for and knowing what you don't want to fight for. It's kind of protected and guarded, but it's kind of not at the same time. It's like a display of power, almost to yourself, right? So let's have a look at these two. That's 7. We've got the 8 of Pentacles. Following straight on from the 7, we've got the 8, right? Do you want to put work into this? Do you not? Are you reclaiming this effort? Moving it in a new direction? Whatever it is, it's going to kind of get you to pull in your effort and push it in a certain direction, even if it isn't in the direction of what this Seven of Pentacles indicates to you, right? It's more like no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this over here, right? A reclaiming. Seven of Pentacles. Yeah. You see, we've got the Nine of Swords, but then the Knight of Wands immediately after it. Like, I can see in this moment of pause and reflection, you kind of dropping back into old patterns of thinking, almost without, you know, by default, not even thinking about it, but then kind of pulling yourself back straight away, because the Knight of Wands, progression from the Princess, which is the page there, is somebody who lives in the moment, right? And he's kind of charging towards this Nine of Wands and being like, no, whoa, what you do? We don't do that anymore. Stop. This is not what we're about, right? And this is good. This is really good, because all of this is quite new to you at the moment, right? And no matter how fiercely you've embraced it, until you get a challenge put in front of you that tests it, right? It's not entrenched within you. It takes these little things coming backwards and forwards, you know, to you over and over again for you to kind of refine and hone your response to it and your reaction to it, and trust, you know, because as you successfully resolve all of these issues, your own trust in yourself will also increase, and bit by bit the default will shift into something else, right? It's okay to have little hiccups, it's okay to have little wobbles, you know, but I really do feel like this is not what we're about anymore. We don't do this, right? What about the Seven of Wands? Seven of Wands. Oh, love it, love it. We've got the King of Cups and the Fool to clarify this Seven of Wands. And this Seven of Wands is a fire card, but look at the colours. The colours on there, like all the blues and the yellows. It's like transitioning from one to the other, right? This is like like I said, it's like a display of strength, right? It's like you kind of whirling this big old wand around it. Actually, it looks like a flag from there, right? A big flag. Whirling it around and going, no. I'm not going to take this. I'm not going to let myself undo all of the good work that I'm doing, because I am emotionally mature. I am on top of my things. I am open. I am available. And nothing's going to knock me down, because I've got a new start to make, right? A full, trusting, open, new start, you know? And we're back to this co-creation again, you know? I feel like the Fool is a co-creator accidentally, because of the level of trust that he has in what the universe has to bring him in the future, right? So he's ambling off on this path, perfectly open, perfectly trusting, allowing the universe to throw, you know, all of the good things at him, because he's open to it, right? There's no closed energy about the Fool anywhere. There's no baggage about the Fool anywhere either. So don't worry about the Tower. And don't worry about your initial default reaction to the Tower. Take your time, breathe deeply, do a little bit of meditation, look at how far you've come, and then make your decisions from there, right? Because this isn't about undoing all the good work that you've done. Not at all. Right, let's get some advice for Taurus, please. Ooh. Sorry. Some advice for Taurus. Yeah. So at the bottom of the deck now, we've got the Three of Wands, right? This is looking towards the future very clearly, right? He's got a funky little stance on there, look, just there. Yeah. He's fabulous and he knows it. Maybe he's doing a little dance for all these ships here that are coming in, right? Know that there is better for you ahead. And aligning your energy and being a conscious co-creator and stuff like that doesn't mean that obstacles and challenges won't get thrown into your way, because they absolutely will. But it's about the way that you approach them that is the important thing. And things that could have seemed absolutely insurmountable to you a year ago are going to be significantly less so this time, because your thinking has changed, right? Your advice is the Sun. Right? The most positive card in the deck. Remain open, remain innocent, remain joyful about the future. Right? And it's 2 cards together. Speak of that childlike joy, about wonder, about rediscovering things. You know, there's nothing hides from the Sun. Nothing can hide from the Sun. Right? The sunlight will get there in the end, and it'll clean everything out. Remain positive. Not, you know, not the cult of positivity, because that's really damaging. I don't like that, right? Don't do that at all. But not everything has to be sent to try you. Yeah? Sometimes things get sent to see how you deal with them, right? When you deal with them, you learn a little bit, you move on. Like, everything is a teaching moment for you. But you're also being counselled not to kind of fall too deeply into those old default ways of doing things, like kind of spending too much time looking at what's gone rather than what remains, because the Sun is very much about paying attention to what remains. The Knight of Wands is very much about paying attention to what remains, right? It's what's in the here and now, right now. The things that are past are gone. They exist nowhere apart from in your own memory, right? So if you change your frame of perception, it'll change the way that you look at things from the past as well, right? Like I said, this feeling that you're altering your timeline is really, really huge. And then we've got the Devil, right? It's the card of Capricorn, but it talks about being trapped. It talks about feeling trapped, right? I think he looks like Xerxes from 300 there, you know, the Persian king. Kind of all funky with his piercings and stuff. Had the most amazing voice, that character. I just loved him so much. And I feel like it's telling you to remember that any time that you feel trapped, any time that you feel chained, any time that you feel afraid, right, all the tools that you need to grow are in the places that you don't want to look. Whatever the devil energy throws up for you, right, when any of those feelings arise for you, those are the things to look at, right? Start asking questions of yourself, right? Not overthinking, not examining, you know, to the nth degree and finding a reason to hate yourself for it. Like, start asking questions. Like, why do I feel like that? What is it, you know? If I'm afraid, you know, where is the threat to me? Like, is it a logical threat? Is it something that actually should be affecting me in the here and now? Or is this me reacting in the old way, right? In the way that I've always done it. You start looking for new ways to do things, because the devil represents the old. The devil represents the fears. The devil represents all the things that you are now shifting and leaving behind, right? And you've got this. I've got no issue at all saying that straight off. You have got this, Taurus, because you've had everything, right? And you've done so much work on yourself. You've ascended so fucking high in the last few months. I see you, and I see that you have this. So I'm going to put the link to the extended that I did for the whole month into the description for this. So if you haven't seen it and you want to, it'll be down there and you can go and have a look. It followed straight on from the last Taurus read, but I feel like it might have something for you off the back of this one as well. So I'll just put it down there and you can have a look at it if you want to, or if not, that doesn't matter either. But I will be back in about a fortnight. Remember to like the video and stuff like that if you resonated. That'd be awesome. And if you haven't subscribed also, that would be awesome. But I will be back in about a fortnight, and we'll regroup and see how you did. I'm sure you did.